Damas y caballeros, esto es Pura Cultura Rock y me da muchísimo gusto recibir invitados muy especiales que pues nos van a presentar hoy su proyecto desde los Estados Unidos, Illusions of Grandeur. Y bueno, pues me da de verdad un gran placer recibirles. First of all, thank you very much for your time. Welcome to Pura Cultura Rock.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, please, could you introduce yourselves for the audience of Pura Cultura Rock and tell us, each one of you, where are you from?
I'm the Siren. I'm Maggie, and I'm originally from Washington, D.C.
I'm the bass player, CM, also known as the Archangel, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Exactly. Well, tell us about the origin and evolution of Illusions of Grandeur, please.
You're good at this.
Okay. I guess about 5 years ago, Maggie and I were in a touring rock band together, just playing straight rock and roll metal, and we were kind of decided we wanted to do something a little bit different, something that more fit her voice and fit my musical style. So we left that band and we started Illusions of Grandeur with the idea of doing something called theatrical metal, kind of a cross of like Alice Cooper and Kiss and Amon Amarth and
In This Moment,
more of a show. So we formed the band and we began recording our first album, The Songs of the Siren. And with that, we came up with the Siren Saga. And a lot of old Norse and Greek mythology is done in the style of a saga, which is a 3-part story. So we have three albums that are concept albums. And the first one came out in 2019 on Pavement Entertainment. And it's called The Songs of the Siren. Mm-hmm. And we toured on that for 2 years. And then we were getting ready to release our new album, The Siren, when COVID hit and stopped us from going back to Europe and touring. So we've been doing videos and singles for the past couple months to connect with our audience. And now we're getting ready to release the album, The Siren, but not before May 21st, a new single called The Prophet.
Exactly. I really think it's very interesting that thing from Alice Cooper and all the theatrical things. I really think this is very good for rock. This is very interesting and exciting. This concept of theatrical rock and fantasy metal it's really, really interesting. Tell us about it, please.
Well, I've always had a really big connection with mythology, like Greek mythology, Norse mythology, the Vikings. Always had a big interest since I was a little kid, and I started writing the story and using actually some of my own personal life interwoven with actual mythology and then a made up story, so that there's kind of a common thread. If you've ever, read any mythology or anything, you can kind of see where I pulled from that, but then I kind of made the story my own. So, it takes the listener on a journey, and it also allows for some really cool theatrics on stage, which I have a big theater background. I come from theater. I did a lot of musicals in high school, some outside of high school. So I always wanted to kind of bring the theater to the stage, because it's neat to get up there and just kind of rock out, but it's also really cool to put on a show and like leave people with a spectacle. Like, wow, did you see that? Like, maybe you don't necessarily remember the lyrics to a song, but you're like, man, did you see that costume or the way she like grabbed down at the audience or whatever, so it's memorable.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has ever not gone and seen Kiss and been like, oh my God, the lights, the smoke, the costumes. And that's kind of, we based it a little on that and Alice Cooper and just, Broadway and bringing in a show. So when someone comes to see the band live, they generally get entertained.
Right. I really think this is a very interesting part, because you have a very particular concept about the image and the sound. And it always takes some balance between that, because some people can watch the image and some people like the sound, but you guys have this balance. How do you do that?
It's kind of an evolution almost.
Yeah.
We started kind of experimenting back in 2015 with different costume ideas and different war paint makeup ideas. I always wanted to do war paint, pulling from the Vikings and mythology, and I just think it looks really cool. I also think it kind of ties in with Native Americans. It's just like that warrior mentality. So I always was about the war paint. And I had some fluffier costumes, some stuff that was a little harder to get around on stage.
In the early evolution.
In the early days, I was trying to do the more mermaid thing, the siren thing, and like have some kind of tail. And it's cumbersome. It's really hard to move around the stage. So now I kind of went full on like Marvel Warrior, which I think is kind of cool. You know,
you can see that in the latest video, the wolf.
Yeah.
And then the other aspect is the songwriting. We've taken a lot of time to write songs that fit into the storyline, but
yes,
there are also songs that if you heard a song by itself, like The Wolf, it tells a story inside the album of the Siren, but it also stands alone. Mm-hmm. So if you listen to the song, you just might be like, oh, that's a great song. But if you're a fan of the band, you're like, oh, this is where they're going in to fight the wolf. So it's got a double entendre.
Yes.
And we took a lot of time to make sure the songwriting was done. So you're not just coming to see a lot of flash and light and video, you're coming to hear good songs. So the balance really was not easy.
It's hard sometimes to make it interesting and make your listener able to connect with it, but at the same time, it follows a storyline.
Yeah, I always compare it to The Who, Tommy. If you hear Pinball Wizard, it's just a great song. But if you know the story of Tommy, you know that that's an important part of the story. But you can listen to it and just go, I love that song. So we try and give the audience both. So it's a good quality hearing and good visually.
Yeah. CM, how long does it take you to do the makeup and how do you feel about it?
It's not as long as her, but yeah, it's prepping for a show it's been 2 to 3 hours with the costumes and the makeup.
Really?
We've gotten it down to about 2 hours now. But it's a process, but it's worth it. And it looks really good and it's interesting. And then, who doesn't want to go on stage and be somebody else for a couple hours?
It's like being a kid.
I know I do. So yeah, it's like you have to be a big kid.
Be a big kid for a little
bit. Yeah, it's fun.
It's like going out like a luchador, you know, you put on your costume and you get out there and you get to be somebody else for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. And she gets the audience pumped up and I scare them.
Yeah, exactly. That's great. What can you tell us about the Siren Saga for the people who hasn't ever heard you? What can you tell us about it?
It's a journey.
It's a journey. It's a story. It starts. The Siren is the protector of Persephone, who is Zeus and Demeter's daughter. So the Sirens, there are 7 of them, and they all control the seas basically together, these sisters. And so my character is the queen of the Sirens, and she gets banished because basically she loses Persephone on Earth to Hades. So that's where we're following the story still, right, from mythology. So Hades takes Persephone, and basically the Siren is on this journey. She's kicked out of Mount Olympus and she has her wings torn from her. So now she becomes the Siren in the sea, the version of the Siren with the tail. And now she's got all these obstacles and everything to face. She has to build an army. And basically we're trying to get back Persephone so that the Siren can ascend and go back to Mount Olympus.
So the first album is you learn who the Siren is.
Right.
And that she's in the water. And then you meet the members of the band. And it kind of shows how they connect. The songs are each about each member and how they
she
connect.
Needs them.
And then as that first album ends, they're crossing into Hades. And they're going through the Styx. And the brand new album picks up where our first single, which came out in October 2020, on Toil Records. It's called Crossing Over. And there's a video on YouTube. And that's the band crossing over
into the underworld.
So this album follows them. This is the battle album.
Yes.
It's the middle of the record. And it kind of reveals a little bit about how they all know each other and the universal song that kind of brings them together. And it's kind of like the Force. It draws them together and locks them together as a band of warriors. And this album takes you through the battle, and we don't reveal too much, so you got to listen to the album. And then there'll be a third album coming out. We don't know, when this cycle of touring ends, and it's called The Siren Rises. And that's the kind of wraps this story up. So there are the 3 albums on this one, but it's a journey.
We all these think about the characters, the makeup, the music. I think there's a very good environment inside the band. Tell us about it. Do you have so many fun?
Oh yeah. Oh no, it is. It's a lot of fun.
It's fun. It's cathartic because, as the Siren said, she writes her personal life into the songs. So you can listen to the song and you'll hear some elements of the story, but then you hear some elements of personal things and personal life and good things and bad things and emotions. And
I think for me too, the sum of it really is because the Siren's on this journey, and I would hope that people could look at it and get from the entire story, like in a nutshell, that we're all light and dark, and at times in life we're gonna need both of those sides. And it's all about kind of just like finding balance in the end and her sort of finding her way out. Like you have to go through to get out. So I think everybody can relate to that. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, I would hope that would be what people could like find their own inner strength, and forgive themselves for things that they've had to do and things that they've had to go through. And then at the end you come out, and you're back in the light, so, and the character aspect of it is, for me, I fall into character on stage. So that's the Siren. That's a different aspect of myself entirely. That's not who I am.
For those who have seen us live, she's scary.
Yeah, I get that a lot. People will be like, I was a little nervous to like come say hi to you. I was like, nope, not at all. How are you? So that is all on stage. And I think, you're like that too, because he's really tough and mean mugging on stage,
I'm just a teddy bear.
But he's really nice, So the characters like allow us to embrace like the, like I said, like the luchador, like that fun part of yourself, or something from you when you were a kid, or maybe something that you feel like you can't normally express just as who you are,
And I think running through all of it again is kind of a universal message.
Yes.
About light and dark and good and evil.
Overcoming.
Like any good story, it takes you on a journey, and you go from the good to the evil to the good again to the, you see sides of it. So
just embracing those parts of yourself.
It's fun to write songs and tell stories and kind of take it back a little bit and keep it simple. I think that is a little bit missing in music nowadays, and we feel like that's an important thing to do. So that's why we're doing it.
Right. Thinking about your live performances and all the kids, it's very common in some bands that kids, little kids, like very much this kind of stuff. How do you feel? What can we expect as audience from a live show from you?
A lot of interaction, and you brought up the kids, so I just have to say I absolutely love when kids come to our show. It's happened multiple times, especially overseas. And I've had little kids say, "She looks like a superhero."
In England, she was mobbed by a group of 5 to 10
all
year olds.
These little boys, little girls,
and they just wanted everything signed to make it. She looks like a superhero.
They're the best because the excitement in their eyes. You can't, that childish wonder that we have when we're children. You can't replace that in an adult. And it's wonderful. I love meeting everybody, and we do take time to meet with everyone, but.
We've spent hours meeting with fans after concerts because they're who counts.
Yep, absolutely.
And we wouldn't be doing what we were doing without them.
You guys.
And it's really nice, and it's really interesting because when I was a kid, again, growing up, you'd see Kiss and you see Gene Simmons and Ace Frehley and the Spaceman and the Demon, and you're in all of them. You don't think of them as a person; you think of them as their character. Mm-hmm. So when people come backstage to meet us or we sign autographs, we live in the character to give them the experience. And that's what they're there for. They want to meet the character. So, and it's fun. And then every once in a while you get a musician who comes up and they want to know about you. And what are you playing? And where you inspires you? And that kind of when you can break the fourth wall a little bit and talk to them about that. So it's a nice dichotomy of the fans and the kids who want to live the fantasy. And then we also have some more mature or older musicians or people that come, and we can have real good conversations with them. So it's really interesting. It's fun.
Of course, we live in a very visual era. Everybody's watching videos and all this, but when we close our eyes a little bit and we hear your music, what experience would you like people to feel, to take away from your music?
I would ask them to feel the emotion in the songs, because I really try to use a dichotomy in my voice to sort of take the listener into the emotion itself of the song, to embrace and feel hopefully the same kind of empowerment that I feel from certain songs like The Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
That's all about empowering your inner animal, and believing in yourself. So I think when you close your eyes, I would hope that you could feel the emotion that I'm trying to portray. And I would say I tried to pick that up from Jonathan Davis from Korn. It's one of my all-time favorite bands, and he does that. And when I close my eyes and listen to him,
female Jonathan Davis.
When I close my eyes and listen to him, I feel like I know exactly what he's going through and exactly what he's trying to portray, and that's
the best way to connect with your audience.
Yeah,
be true and be honest, and
transcends
and just pure emotion, and be honest, and that's really what she does, and what the whole band does. But her as the front woman, it's a very difficult job to be honest and pure and just give a live performance. She leaves it all on the stage. So I'd like when people shut their eyes and listen to the music to feel the power of it and the melody and enjoy it. And for those that have seen us live or have seen our videos, understand the intensity that we pour into it, because we love what we do.
Yeah, Maggie, talking about empowerment and all that inspiration and all that force that you use in the stage. We all know that it's hard to be a woman in some countries like Mexico. We all know that it's very hard to a woman to perform, to be an artist because of many things. What can you tell to all these people, to the young girls that right now are watching you and maybe they want to be an artist or maybe they want to be whatever they wish? What can you tell to them?
I always say that you keep your head up high and you consider yourself as everyone else. I don't look at anyone as any lesser for any reason, whatever sexual orientation you are or whatever color your skin is or whatever. It doesn't matter. We're all humans. We all bleed red. So all those women, I would suggest to just keep going forward and don't let anything get in your way. All those stereotypes and those things that they're going to be there. I promise you. Keep going. Head high.
Break through.
I'm one of the boys. I'm one of the managers. I'm one of the group. Head held high, strong posture. I've never really had an issue. And I don't know. I have 5 brothers, so I don't know if it comes from that or not. But I never considered myself any different from them. I'm not lesser because I'm not a man. I'm not, or anything like that. I'm just like, I'm one of the guys.
It's 2021. So,
yes.
I think it's time that those things end. We have a lot of females and women on our management team. They're great.
Maggie
knows. They're really powerful. Like one of our costume designers, Samantha.
Yep, Samantha Weissman.
Who works with us. So, and just people that come in and work with us. We don't really look at that. It's not, are you female? Are you male? It's can you do your job? Do you play your instrument well? That's what we do. You
got to deflect some of that stuff. And it's hard. It really is. But I think I've made like a career of deflecting. I put my shades on and smile and wave at everybody.
She's like a goalie.
I do. I'm just like, nah, whatever, cause it's going to happen. And that's where you have to put your head up, zip your mouth. At least for me, I found that silence is super powerful. It's super powerful. Just hold your frame and hold your stance.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's really, really, really good. And what are your plans for the near future? What are you going to do in the next months?
Well, we have a new single coming out May 21st called The Prophet. And we leave for LA this Friday for Los Angeles. So if anyone's in the Los Angeles area over this next weekend, look for us. We'll be at the Rainbow hanging out, Lemmy's Lounge. And then we'll be hanging out in Venice Beach. And we come back. We filmed the new video, The Prophet, and that'll be coming out in June. We're going to start to tour here in the United States, June 5th in Delaware at Bar 13, and then July 2nd in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And then we'll be off for most of the summer, getting ready to put out the new album, The Siren. And then starting in September, we go on tour. And that will be mainly here in America through the South and the Northwest. And then in 2022, we hope to be down to Mexico and back to Europe, back to our friends in England and Germany and France and the Ukraine and everywhere that we love going. And we now have offers to go to South Africa So we hope to go there, and Australia. So we got big plans for the end of 2021, getting back to normal. And then in 2022, getting back to Europe, more of America. And then, who knows?
Breaking into the third album.
Been breaking into the third album at some point. Yeah. We're lucky. We have fans all over the world. We're blessed. And we're so grateful.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
We don't take it for granted that, people are interested in our music in Mexico, people in Brazil and in Australia and New Zealand, South America and Japan, and then over in Europe where we broke in 2018. Yeah. We started our first tours were in Europe, and we played the packed houses, and no one knew who we were.
Yeah,
they just
knew the words.
They knew the words and they knew the image, and they embraced us.
Yeah, it blew my mind.
It was a real surprise. We thought we were going to be playing to not empty rooms, but And we ended up playing festivals and really being very lucky, very lucky. We think that we work very hard to write good music and put on a good show so that when people do come and see us, they get something out of it. So there are plans for the future.
Yeah. Talking about Mexico, I know it's hard still to say date or something, but you have plans to come here. And what can you tell to the people of Mexico?
We can't wait to get there and bring the full show.
We're so excited to come to Mexico. I can't wait.
Well, normally we fly into Europe, so we can't bring the whole show. We bring a lot of it, like 90%. But the plan is for us to on the Southwest tour drive. So we should be able to bring the entire Siren Saga and hopefully set up some festivals or play on some festivals and some club shows and bring the full performance. We're just, again, it's COVID and we're waiting for things to open back up. So it's about patience and safety. But when they do open back up, we intend to be there and to bring the metal.
Yeah.
Bring the rock.
Yeah, we're sure that's going to happen, and I'm very, very happy because of that. And well, please tell us, where can we follow you? All of social networks, YouTube, Facebook, anything you have.
You can find everything Illusions of Grandeur at iogmusic.com. Everything, all of our Facebook links, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, merch, everything.
Everything is at iogmusic.com. All roads lead to there.
Yeah. CM, the same question I did for Maggie a couple of minutes ago. What can you tell to the kids right now that are going to, we're taking an instrument and trying to do rock band and thinking about all these very complicated future? What can you tell to them with the experience that you have as a musician?
Never stop. Always play. I've been doing this for a long time and I love it. And if you're passionate about it, don't let anyone tell you you can't. You can do whatever you want. And it used to be called the American dream, from here in America. You can do anything you want. I think anywhere in the world, anyone can do anything they want. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. And that's all that matters. Don't let anyone tell you who you are. You be who you want to be. And you'll find that freedom and you'll find that music, and you just don't stop.
Yeah, perseverance is key, because that is what can mess you up worse than quitting? Nothing.
Yeah.
You can fail a million times. That doesn't mean that
there's always a tomorrow and something can change.
Yes, so, absolutely. We all fail. You have to keep going.
We've overcome a lot of obstacles.
Yes.
And believe me, there's plenty of times when you get knocked down and you want to stop. Don't. Just keep going and find the inner strength and just keep going, especially if you love music. I'm passionate about music. It's what I love, and I decided that I wanted to do it for a living a long time ago, and I've been very lucky and I've been able to. So if you put your mind to it, you can do it. No one can stop it.
Exactly. Well, I really wish you the best. It's been very interesting talking to you, and we're hoping to get you here in Mexico to see the full show, as you perfectly said. And well, any final message for the audience of Pura Cultura Rock?
Thank you.
Mucho gusto. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate everyone down there in Mexico. Seriously, you guys have been amazing. It was like a whole new world opening up when we got introduced to Mexico.
Sound.
Seriously, Kill Sound Productions,
production
Maggie,
down there.
Really, really appreciate it. You
And
guys are amazing.
Go watch the videos.
Yes,
Go
please.
see the videos. Go
Interact
listen to
with us. We'll interact with you.
Go listen to the music. Message us on Facebook. We answer everything. Interact with us and tell us what you think, good or bad.
Yeah.
We appreciate anything.
Yeah,
so thank you so much for having us too.
Thank you very much, guys. And well, I hope the stars will be your destiny and you get very, very much successful in what you do with all this spirit, with all this force, with all this strength. And thank you for this message for the people of Mexico and all over the world. Thank you very much, friends.
Thank
you so
Have
much.
a great night. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Long live rock and roll, music and peace for all the humankind. Larga vida al rock and roll, música y paz para toda la humanidad. Muchísimas gracias, amigos de Illusions of Grandeur.